have superficial branch of ulnar nerve and medianus nerve. And also we have the branches of the cephalic and basilic. By the way, main trunks forming the dorsal surface. Here we have venous network, which in the medial surface after gives formation of the basilica, in the lateral surface gives the formation of the cephalica. But here we have the branchings, which is draining side. Superficial fissure, now specifically proper fissure, forms huge amount of important structures in anterior and posterior forearm region. Let's start from anterior. Structure number one, which you know, we call palmar aponeurosis. Aponeurosis palmaris. How it forms? Proper fissure fuse with the tendon of musculus palmaris longus and become very thick in the middle part of your palmar region. By the way, this palmar aponeurosis has triangular shaped form. Tip is looked to up, base is looked to down. Your palmar aponeurosis forms by 4 bands of the longitudinal fibers and 2 bands of transverse fibers, which is located near the proximal phalanx of your finger. Between longitudinal, between transverse, forms the commissural apertures. Commissural apertures have one important meaning. They communicate deep loose connective tissue with subcutaneous fat. By commissural apertures, neurovascular bundles from deep come to superficial, common divided into proper, propers forms the neurovascular bundles for palmar surface. Finally, asazisha. Kaminza heterotanas. Fingers have 4 neurovascular bundles, 2 in palmars, 2 in the abdominal surface, in each margin. Let's remember, please, palmar aponeurosis, that is the first structure. Structure number 2, proper fissure to inside, to deep loose connective, gives intermuscular septa. Again, single layer structures. One is fused with the third, second is fused with the 5th metacarpal bone, and they divided all deep loose connective into 3 beds: medial hypotenor, lateral tenor, and middle. Inside of hypotenor and tenor, we have short muscles of 50. Short muscles of 50. You remember, it is short flexor, it is the adductors, it is opponents, and in the hypotenor, it is short palmar muscles. Palmaris longus is here. This is adductor, this is adductor. Adductor is here, and short flexor is here, together with the opponents one. This is the muscles in the tenor and hypotenor. In middle bed, we have lumbricalis muscles, anterior, posterior, intercostal muscles. About innervation of them, I said it before. But look, guys, structure number 3, which is from the proper fissure, we call retinaculum flexorum. Like retinaculum flexorum, it is the opposite part of the proper fissure, and it fuses with the carpal bones. You remember, laterally it is the naviculare trapezium, medially it is the triquetrium and the hamartum. It is fused with them and it forms canalis carpalis. Canalis carpalis, which is main communication between the forearm region and hand region. Canalis carpalis, which contain 2 synovial sheets, medially ulnar, laterally radial. Ulnar contain 8 tendon of flexors, 4 superficial, 4 deep. Yeah? Superficial, you know, come to the second year phalanx, split it into 2 legs, deep is passed between them, goes to the nail phalanx and fuse with them. By the way, synovial sheets of second, third, and fourth fingers finish in the mid-side of the metacarpal region. Synovial sheets of first and fifth finger continues without interruption up to the final destination. Then synovial sheets of these 3 fingers again reform in the level of the proximal phalanx. As you remember, in the level of the fingers, synovial sheets covered by fibrous sheets, which is, again, not my subject, anatomy, which contain 2 types of the fibers, yeah? Annular ligaments and cruciform ligaments. So I remember one. Yeah, and now let's come to the deep loose connective tissue. which is located under the proprioception. As you remember from anatomy, by tendon of flexor muscles, it is split into two big parts, subaponeurotical and subtendinous. Inside of subaponeurotical, we have superficial arterial arch with tendon of flexor muscles. Inside of subtendinous one, we have deep arterial arch. How they form, I think you remember. Ulnar artery by canalis carpomularis joined the superficial branch of the radial artery. Together they form the superficial arch. By the way, how we project it? We take the os pisiformis, connect it with second interfinger space, and divide it into two equal parts, and from midpoint provided the arch, which is loop to arch. Deep one, by the way, projected approximately 1 finger above of this one. And it's located inside of subtendinous space. How it forms? Mainly it is the radial artery, which by first interfinger space enters, and secondary it is deep branch of ulnar. That's how remember. Superficial arch forms primary by ulnar with superficial branch of radial. Deep one primary by radial with deep branch of ulnar. Superficial one gives the 4 common digital vessels, which is divided into 8 proper digital, except these 2 surfaces, which is separately supplied by the radius of ulnar. All another supplied by proper digital vessels. Deep one gives the metacarpal vessels, common metacarpal, which is being anastomosed and finished in the common digital vessels. That's all. That's all. Now let's come to the back side. In the back side, proprioception gives the certas to the carpal bones, and it forms 6 osteofacial canals. Inside of them, we have the tendons of posterior forearm muscles. Look to me, anatomical snapshots. Canal number 1. Do you see it? Abductor pollicis longus, flexor pollicis, extensor pollicis brevis, sorry. Canal 2, which is in floor of the snap box. Extensor carpi radialis longus and brevis. Canal 3, which is medial border of snap box. Extensor digitorum longus. Canal number 4, little bit medially to that. Extensor digitorum. Usually with extensor digiti indice. Canal number 5, extensor digiti minimi. Canal number 6, extensor carpi ulnaris. I do my work. Point by point, all the regions of upper extremity. Well, not lecture. Lecture we will not have. I don't have anything to give you next week. Practical class we will have like conclusion of lesson. Next to next week you pass your control. So all topics is finished. I say you that I will not include the operative surgery of upper extremity. Topographical anatomy we completely finished. It's a thorax region completely with all the topics of upper extremity which we studied. What you can do in practical class, guys, you will come and you will try to improve your problems. Means, even now, by the way, who want to answer, I can give the chance. Every class I say the same. Who want to answer, just raise your hand. I will give the chance to answer. Don't forget that